Welcome to GEMS News. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Shannon. Today's stories include
the death of President JFK, Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe sings to the president, and Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus. Today is a big day in history. Marilyn Monroe sang for our president, John F. Kennedy. Marilyn surely looked beautiful in her sheer dress. She sang happy birthday to our president. We go to Shannon, who has an interview with Marilyn Monroe and shows us what goes into the making of pulling off a wonderful performance. Over to you, Shannon.
Thank you. On Saturday, President John F. Kennedy's 45th birthday took place at the old Madison Square Garden, where more than 15,000 people attended. The famous singer, actress, and model Marilyn Monroe sang the traditional Happy Birthday to You to Mr. President, along with a snippet from the classic song Thanks for the Memory. Her performance was accompanied by jazz pianist Hank Jones. Thank you for joining us here today, Marilyn.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So about that performance, it was absolutely amazing. How do you think it went, though?
I think it was a great night for everyone. We all worked very hard on getting everything to be perfect, and I think Mr. President was very happy, and that's all we are hoping to achieve.
Yes, it was a spectacular time for everyone, even if they weren't physically there. On another note, I think you can say that everyone was speechless with that dress you're wearing. It was dazzling.
Yes, it was a very special dress for a very special night.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what went into the making of this dress?
Well, I decided on the designer, Jean Lewis. She's one of my favorite designers. The way she takes every little detail into account. We spent most of our time picking the fabric and color. Eventually, we went into a sheer flesh colored marquisette fabric.
Was there a specific reason that you chose that color?
I chose the sheer fabric because when you're under the spotlight, it glows and shimmers with 2,500 rhinestones hand-sewn on it.
Well, thank you for coming here today, Marilyn. It was great to have you. Back to you guys at the studio.
Yes, Marilyn Monroe is quite the role model.
Today is a big day in history. Today, a black woman refused to give up her seat for a white male. This is causing a huge stir in society. Over to you, Morgan.
That's right. Today, December 1st, 1955, a 42-year-old black woman refused to give up her seat on the Montgomery City bus for a white male. Parks was coming home from her job as a seamstress when this incident occurred. Parks got onto the bus and sat near the middle of the bus. The seat she sat in was 10 seats behind the reserved seats for whites. When the man told her to get up so he could sit down, Parks quietly refused. Parks was later arrested and convicted of violating the Jim Crow laws. I got the chance to sit down and talk with Miss Parks herself when I went to visit the local jail she was placed in. The only quote Miss Parks issued was, "When I made my decision, I knew that the strength of my ancestors was with me." This incident is causing a huge stir with the civil rights movement and is making people everywhere very angry. Citizens declared a strike on the bus company. Since about 75% of the people who ride the bus are African American, the boycott will be a serious economic threat to the company and to the social threat to white rule in the city. The Montgomery Improvement Association organized the boycott, and after Rosa's arrest, was bailed out by Edgar Nixon, the president of the NAACP. At the trial, Rosa Parks had a total of $14 in fines. She appeals to the conviction and challenged the segregation laws. I think it's terrible that Rosa Parks is being punished for standing up for herself, and I hope that we will all eventually be able to get along, regardless of our color. That's all I have for today. Back to you guys in the studio.
Here. Rosa Parks is a brave and strong woman. Let's hope things get better soon.
Breaking news in America today. Today, our president, John F. Kennedy, has died. We don't know the specifics of this event, but our reporter, Jordan, got some more details. How will our nation survive without our president? Who will take the role? That's all for Jordan to tell us. Over to you, Jordan.
That's right. Today is a sad day in the United States. Many people are weeping over the tragic event. November 22nd started off as just a normal day for President Kennedy. He began campaigning around the nation for the next election. He held a meeting earlier in the month to come visit Texas and Florida to win over those states. As he was visiting Texas at the time, there was a light rain. He came out unprotected from the weather to give a few remarks. Thousands of people were lined up waiting to hear what he has to say. After he was done, he got into a car with his wife and they drove off at 12:30. The crowd went wild as they passed. As the car was passing the Texas School Book Depository, gunfire suddenly filled downtown. Bullets struck JFK in the head and neck, and the Texas governor was hit in the chest, but he survived. As soon as it happened, the car drove off to the Parkland Memorial Hospital in Texas. In less than an hour, the police suspected Lee Harvey Oswald and arrested him. Today is John F. Kennedy's funeral. Thousands of people are lined up Pennsylvania Avenue and gave their remarks as the case is passed. President Kennedy is laid to rest at the Arlington National Cemetery.
Yes, that was a tragic event. I hope we will soon recover from this.
Elvis Presley has caught teenagers' eyes with his music and his crazy pelvic moves. He has made many popular songs and movies over the years, but his fame seems to be slowly fading. Can the king of rock and roll come back from this, or will he eventually disappear? We go to Elizabeth for more details on this story.
Yes, thank you. Elvis Aaron Presley became quickly popular in the 1950s. This is in spite the fact that from 1958 through 1959 he was in the U.S. Army. Over the years he has made 26 gold records. Teenagers are in love with him. His wild pelvic moves led to sexual awakening in popular music that teenagers went gaga for. But many parents thought it was vulgar and unnecessary. When Elvis was not recording, he premiered on TV, which fueled his popularity. He premiered on the Ed Sullivan Show, the Shreveport television station KWKH-TV, the Milton Berle Show, which was broadcast from the deck of the aircraft carrier USS Hancock. He also was on the Steve Allen Show, where he was talked into wearing a white tie and tails and serenading a basset hound with Hound Dog. When Elvis made his first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show, the show received the highest ratings to date for a TV variety show. A lot of people saw Elvis as a bad influence on young kids and moral culture. He later created his own TV show named Elvis Aloha from Hawaii, and was a benefit concert for the Kalani Lee Concert Fund. It was seen in over 40 countries with about 1 billion viewers. This special in Hawaii was broadcast in more American homes than the Walk on the Moon. Soon after this, Elvis joined the Army. In the Army, Elvis refused to take any easy assignments or to receive any extra privileges just because he was famous. He also did not want any special treatments as a soldier. While in the Army, he met a girl who would be his wife. He first came in contact with prescription drugs, and the most tragic event was when his mother died. They say he never really got over his mother's death. When Elvis was deployed to Germany, he met a 14-year-old girl who changed his life. Her name is Priscilla Boulay. It was love at first sight. They started seeing each other every night, but sadly Elvis had to leave Germany and go back home. But this wasn't the end of their love affair, it was just the beginning. After Elvis got out of the Army, he started making many movies. He made 3 movies a year and made a total of 33 movies. After all this fame, Elvis started to go downhill and his popularity decreased. But we have some exciting news. We just found out that Elvis is having a comeback concert. Go buy your tickets now and come watch Elvis perform. The songs he will be performing are Jailhouse Rock, Hound Dog, All Shook Up, and of course my favorite, Can't Help Falling in Love. Well, hope you enjoyed this amazing event.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, you're crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Lord bless my soul, but what's wrong with me? I'm itching like a man on a fuzzy tree. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bug. I'm in love. I'm on.
Wow, thank you, Elizabeth. I'm gonna have to go buy some tickets for that concert. I don't want to miss that. Can't wait to see Elvis perform again.
That's all we have for today. Today, unfortunately, was our last special of Gems News. Thank you for tuning in for these last broadcasts.